All right, so we'll start the workout with a couple mobilizations, a little hip stretch to get going. So we'll go 90-90, seated position, the front leg bent to 90 degrees, back leg also bent to 90. We're lining the belly button up with that front kneecap. We're gonna pull the belly button forwards as we build the stretch by pulling that same butt cheek backwards and just hunting for that stretch in the hip. And once you find it, we're just gonna take 5 big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just watch the muscles relax as you breathe out. And you can fold right over if it feels comfortable. I'll do the same thing on the other side, other leg out in front. Again, lining the belly button up with that kneecap. Back leg's also bent to 90. And pull that belly button forwards. 5 big deep breaths. Every breath out, just trying to relax the hip a little bit more. Again, you can fold right over if it feels comfortable. And we'll come back up. We'll post up, hands behind the body, and we're gonna rotate the legs side to side, bring a little bit of energy into the legs. And we're gonna go into a lying windshield light burst, so hands up to the side, legs up to 90. We're gonna drop the legs side to side while keeping the shoulders on the ground. About 7 reps per side here. Try to let the knees actually rest on the side of the ground so that you get a good stretch through your hip and through your shoulder at the bottom of the rep. And once you get 7 reps on each side there, we're gonna go into a single leg glute bridge. So 1 foot on the ground, other leg right in line, driving through the heel, squeezing that glute at the top of the rep. And we'll do 12 of those on each side. Making sure that we're driving through the heel, squeezing the butt at the top of the rep. Nice. Once we get 12 on each side, we're going to flip over onto the front side. We've got 2 swimmers. So hands go in the highest part of the low back. Trying to keep the hands up as high as we can for that entire movement. Squeezing the shoulder blades back, trying to get as much range of motion as possible. Just 2 reps, really nice and slow. The slower you do them, the better. Once you've done 2 reps, we're going to be standing, and we've got a reverse lunge and twist. Taking a big step back, we're going to reach over towards our front leg. So if the left leg is forward, reaching towards that left side. Come back up to standing and rotate. What we're really trying to do here is pushing for the back toes so that we get a good stretch along the hip flexor. Alternating sides, going for about 7 on each side. Let's do 1 more on each side. So we're going to go for a lateral lunge with a cross connect. So feet out nice and wide, hands out in front. We're going to sink our hip back so we get a good stretch in our groin. And we're going to reach the elbow to the opposite side knee and then come back up. So butt back, reach the elbow to the knee. We get a little bit of upper back rotation while we get that hip loosened up here. 5 of those on each side. Nice, guys. Always making sure the butt goes back first so that we feel this more in the heel. And once we get 5 there, we're going to go for 5 squat stands. For the squat to stand, we're going to grab onto the toes, pull ourselves down to a deep squat. From that bottom position, we're pushing our elbows into the knees, bringing our chest tall, and standing, trying to keep the head up and the chest tall. Rock back and forth from the squat to that standing position. Hands are always on the toes. Ready, get your last rep in here. Then we're gonna go for an inchworm with an upward dog. So legs are straight, walk the hands out without the hips wobbling into a push-up position, chest to the ceiling, tiptoe, no hip wobble. Last inchworm in here. All right. We'll do a few activations to get the nervous system activated. We're going side to side, side shuffles for 15 seconds. Just back and forth in whatever space that you have. Time. And we'll go into some butt kickers, forwards and backwards. Same thing, 15 seconds. Trying to get those heels as close to your butt as you can. You can bring your knees as far forwards as you need to. Good there. We're gonna go into some athletic skipping. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Skip and land on the same leg. Back and forth in whatever space you have. Time. Good there, guys. All right, we're gonna go into our first muscle building, muscle mass circuit. Our first exercise is a push-up with a shoulder tap. So you can do these on different inclines to make them easier or harder. So the regular kind of middle version is gonna be a regular push-up from the ground. We're gonna do a push-up and come up and tap the shoulder without rotating. We hold that tap for about a second and then come back down and come back up. If push-ups from the ground are really tough, then we're gonna go hands onto a couch or a bench. Same exercise from here. And if push-ups are easy for you, you can go feet up onto a couch and do them from here, okay? Whichever one you choose, we're doing 7 taps on each shoulder. So 14 push-ups total. Make sure on your push-up that your hands are wider than your shoulders. Sean, you can bring your hands a little wider there. Yeah, there you go. Probably be a little bit easier on the shoulders. And take a 1 second pause so that the core gets a little bit more active. Once you get 7 on each shoulder, we're gonna go, you got 2 options for the glute bridge. Number 1 is gonna be a regular glute bridge from the ground like we did in the warm-up. Okay. Number 2 is gonna be a shoulders elevated glute bridge. Shoulders on the back of a couch or a bench, 1 leg out, driving through the heel and squeezing our glute top. Whichever one you choose, we're doing 12 on each leg. This is a glute exercise, so we should feel it mostly in the glute, a little bit in the hamstring. If you're feeling it in the low back, I suggest going down from the bench down to the ground. We're driving through the heel, squeezing the butt at the top of the rep. Looks good, guys. Keep going. Full range of motion, butt to ground, squeezing the glute at the top of the rep. Squeeze out those last couple reps. All right, when we get 12 on each side there, we're going for a wall press ab. So you're going to need a fixed object behind you, couch or wall. I'm pushing hard back into that object. So it's got to be 330. From here, once you push in, we should feel the core kind of engage. And we're going to reach one leg out at a time. We're going for 12 reps on each side here. Important key is to push your low back hard into the ground. And if you do that little exhale like I was doing, you're going to have an easier time engaging the core. Every time you reach that foot out, tap the ground, big breath out. The harder you push into the wall, the more the core engages. Keep that tension in the wall. Keep your low back pressing hard into the ground. Once you finish your 12 wall abs, you're going to go back for a push-up shoulder tap. So you can either choose the same variation as you chose last time, or you can make it harder and easier depending on how that first set was. One tip to make it more challenging, any version that you're doing, when you're coming up, try to just push off the side that you're tapping, or the opposite side that you're tapping with. So you're coming up and taking that hand off a little bit early. That's really going to get the core involved. Nice, guys. Good work. Good full range of motion push-ups. Nice one, guys. And when you're done your push-ups, we're back to the back or shoulders elevated glute bridge. Another set of 12 reps. Shoulders up on the couch or back on the ground as an alternative. Driving through the heel, finish with the glutes at the top of the rep. Nice. I like these little pauses at the top of the rep. Send those signals to the muscles by pausing at the top. And when you're done, 12 on each side. We're going to either wall press abs, or if you want a different variation of that exercise, a little bit harder, is going to be the dead bug. So for the dead bug, arms and legs are both up, and we're going to reach opposite arm, opposite leg back. And again, we're going to be pushing the low back really hard into the ground here. If the low back comes off the ground, we're not going to get too much core involvement. So focus as you reach back to push the low back into the ground. If you're having a hard time recruiting there, then I'd suggest going back to the wall abs. Nice big drive with the low back into the ground. All right, you can finish up those dead bugs. We're going to go into our next circuit. We're just going to start the split squat. So you've got two options for your split squat. We're either going feet apart, hands behind the head, dropping straight down, driving through the heel of the front foot. Or if you want to make this one tougher, we're going back foot elevated onto a couch or a bench, dropping that back knee down. When you go down, you want to have straight lines, so like a 90-degree bend or a perpendicular shin and back leg, and then driving back up. We're going for 15 split squats on each leg. Whichever option you're choosing, making sure that you're going back and down into that back leg a little bit more, into the heel of that front foot. Full range of motion here. Maintain your posture with that prisoner stance, so squeezing the shoulder blades back together, keeping your chest nice and tall. Good work there, guys. I'll give the legs a little rest. We're going to do a shoulder W to Y. We're going face down. It's really important to kind of create internal tension here. So hands go as high as they can. We're going to start by pushing away the air to that belly position. And then we pull back as far back as we can. So it's kind of like you're doing a shoulder press with weights, and then it's like you're doing a pull-up. Shoulder press to pull up. We want to do this one really, really slow, and we want to push the heavy air away on the way out and pull it back as hard as we can back in. We're going to do 10 reps, maintaining that tension You gotta create that tension. Hands as high as you can. 1 mile per hour you're moving here. On the way down, we should feel our lats in our shoulders, the bottom of our shoulders. On the way up, we should feel our traps on the outside of your shoulders. Nice one, guys. Once we get 10 reps there, we're going into a side plank hold. We're gonna do a 45-second side plank with some variations thrown in. So easiest one, feet apart, bringing the hips up. You can even give yourself a little bit of a kickstand here if it's a tough exercise for you. A little bit harder is gonna be feet on top of each other. Let's start right now. We'll go hips up, choose your variation. If even these variations aren't that bad for you, we can bring the top leg up for a side leg abduction. If you're kind of in between a side leg abduction and a regular side plank, you can flutter that top leg up and down. And our last variation here is going to be bringing the bottom leg up and having the top leg planted. Time. Same thing on the other side. So choose your kind of base variation here. You're going to either go feet apart or feet on top of each other. We'll go hips up. You want to add a challenge, you can add either abduction or flutters. And we'll bring the bottom leg up, driving that knee to your chest. Hold strong for 5 seconds. Time. We've just got time for 1 or 2 more exercises. So we're gonna go back to our back foot elevated split squat. Back foot on the couch or regular split squat, depending on which one you're choosing. You should never be feeling this in the knees. If we are, it's just going back down to a split squat and modifying the range of motion. Really good posture through these. That's good, guys. Nice full range of motion as you go down and come up athletically. And we're gonna finish with the shoulder W to Y, 10 reps, squeezing out that tension from that prone position. One mile per hour on these. Push the heavy air away like you're doing a pull-up on the way back. Finish it strong, maintain that tension. Nice work, guys. That's it for today. Enjoy your weekends.